Monday. Happy Monday. Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda. That is Abby. We are covering, despite what I thought, we are covering 90 Day Fiance the Other Way, Season 7, Episode 15, Lo Siento. Overall thoughts on this episode?
While I was watching this episode, literally I was saying to myself, Linda is going to have a field day raking me over the coals for people who I have defended vehemently over their behavior. But I'm going to stick to my guns.
I mean, our audience tends to side with you, and I just smile and just keep it pushing. But listen, my gut, I've told you guys this plenty of times. My gut tells me things. My gut is always right. I mean, I'm not always right. I didn't know the difference between Kabuki and hibachi, but but people I'm good with. That being said, let's just jump into Manon and Anthony. I'm going to let you go first about your thoughts on their segment because I have thoughts.
Okay, so I have so many thoughts about Manon, and I'm so glad that we get to see her as a character because I think that she's such a good representation of women being told like you have to do motherhood in a certain way, and that conflict between trying to meet that expectation or that societal norm when your heart really is in business or any other place that your heart might be. And like what happens when you are a person who does not feel satisfied in motherhood? What happens when that cannot be the thing that sustains you?
Okay, well, she thought about that before she became a mother and a wife, right?
That's so easy to say.
Is it?
That's so easy to say because, like, I was reading this article from the 50s. Actually, no, it was before the 50s, where this doctor was talking about how he has so many women coming into his practice who are disenchanted with their life as mothers and homemakers. It was all white women, and they were being diagnosed with hysteria. It was just like a general condition that happens to women who are failing at being, mothers and homemakers, or they're not satisfied, they're disenchanted with it. And I'm just thinking, like, whenever she comes on the scene, she's trying so hard on the one hand to force herself into having motherhood a certain way, but it's clearly just not her desire.
So she should have thought about that before she became a mother. I'm sorry. Nope.
I think it's so, I think it's, I'm gonna give her and anybody else who may have experienced this some grace, because I think it's so hard when you exist in any kind of society that says motherhood has to be X. And that's most of them. There's not a lot of variation in how people experience motherhood. Even Michelle Obama was giving a speech where she said, or it wasn't a speech, it was a talk, where she said there were many years that she hated Barack. There were many years that she hated that he was able to live his life as a pursuing his dreams and goals, whereas the expectation for her was you put all that on the back burner and be a mom. She said it way more eloquently than I just said it. But even people with as many resources as they had, okay, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to, no. I think, do I have to kick this person out? I have to do it.
Well, yeah. That being said, shout out to the fam, Ray Della, Silver Lining. Who else we got in here? Faziz. I think I saw Joslo. Shout out live chat. I going to say this, and respectfully, I understand everything that you just said. But the women in this episode specifically were just irritating me for multiple different reasons. And Manon specifically, I think, is selfish. I think that she should have thought of becoming a mother before she became a mother, but I don't think that that is her main issue. Her main issue is she's selfish. She wants to live the life that she wants to live, the way she wants to live it, disregarding that she has a partner in life and she has a baby to attend to. Now, can you go for all your dreams and be an entrepreneur and all the things? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can have it all. But does it take a team and a village and being communicative and being open and being flexible? Absolutely. She's not flexible. She does what she wants. She hides things from her husband. She speaks down to him all the time. Like, I wonder, do you even like him as a person? Because the way you speak to him, it's like you think you're better than, and you talk down to him. Now, you don't respect the fact that he's a stay-at-home dad, even though that's his contribution to this partnership that you both agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I don't appreciate about her is he literally is trying to tell her, we need to work on our marriage. That's the reason we moved from the US to France. And yet you're not working on your marriage. You are exactly who you were in America. You just uprooted from America and come back to where you're from, which is France. You have not changed a thing about you. And yeah, you put your 2 cents in for maybe a couple of weeks, but you're right back to who you were in the US. You just have more of a support system. And dare I say, you don't really have a support system because you've got some toxic stuff going on with your family, specifically with your parents. So no, I'm not impressed by this whole situation at all. So couple of weeks, she said things are better with Anthony. She feels like she's closer to Ben, and she's supposed to be looking for houses. But in the meantime, instead of just looking for houses and signing the paperwork to the house that they found, she has partnered with her friend Dorian on the beauty brand that she wanted to start. The name is lovely, you guys. It's very, very short, right? So Biquette Beauty, which means a young female goat, which, goat we use in slang terms as like you're the one, you're the winner, you're the like best of the best, all of that. So having a young female goat, and she's being, a young female entrepreneur, aka the goat. I get it. I think that's a great name. It's all going to be based on goat milk. However, she's been hiding all of this from her husband, Anthony. So yes, she's saying she's working on the paperwork for the house, which I don't understand why the two of them aren't working on it together since, they're married. I don't know. But instead, she is working on her business. She met with an agency that are going to help them with first steps and business plans and all of that. And the other thing that I thought of you, Abby, is how you're supposed to set your partner up for success. And I don't think that she did that in this situation. I also think that she ambushed him. And I also think that she was a little bit of a coward because she knew, had she just thrown this at him, and Dorian, which she did, and her friend Dorian being there, he's not going to be able to be open and honest. He's not going to be able to have a conversation with his spouse because, there's a third party that is not supposed to be in this marriage, but you've thrown them into your mess. And guess what? Everywhere you are, there you are. I said to you guys way back in episode 2, moving is not going to change anything. You're just changing your locations. Guess what? Your problems are going to follow you anywhere you are if you don't deal with your problems. So she realizes that she needs to talk to Anthony. It's been 2 weeks that she's been supposed to be doing the paperwork for the house, but she's been building her business from the ground up. She asked Anthony to come pick her up at the office, and she's going to tell him the truth now. But she's going to tell him the truth in front of Dorian, her partner. She tells him that she's been working mostly on the skincare brand, and not only that, they need to invest between $5,000 and $10,000, and she has a plan. Now, her plan is she's going to find more money. how's she going to find more money? She's going to tap into her network. She's going to find another gig, which brings her back to working all the time, which is what was making her and Anthony grow apart in their relationship. So that's not a good thing. If she gets another gig while she's also trying to build a business, you can imagine, if you know anyone or if you yourself are an entrepreneur, you have 0 days off and you work all the time. So explain to me how you are investing in your relationship. Sounds to me like you're investing in yourself, and sounds to me like you are doing whatever you want to do because you want to do it your way. Anthony stays calm, says how much and how soon, and don't you think this is too much too fast? You know, one of the reasons you moved here was because you wanted to spend more time with Ben. What is that going to look like? Ask Dorian, you know, when you first started your first business, you know, how was it for you? And I appreciated that she was honest with him, Abby. I appreciated it. She said, you know what? It took a lot of time away from my family. I missed all the special moments. I'm not going to like BS you and tell you it was easy. It was not. I appreciated that. Did you?
Absolutely. And I appreciated the fact that he seemed to understand what she was saying without translation, because they haven't shown us that he's like practicing his French or how it's coming along. So really good to see that effort on his part too.
Yeah, 100%. Anthony was mad, right? But he held it together. But in the car, he's like, you know what? I am not impressed that this was not a private conversation between the two of us. She ambushed him. That's my own note. And I'm shaking my head. He has concerns because it's a big investment. None of them are working or bringing money into the house right now. They're trying to buy a house. They're living with their parents. And what if working gets to be too much? It looks exactly like the US.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Anthony, you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being open, my personal feelings on this is Manon got defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think about what you said a few episodes ago, Abby, about like the stereotypical big girl, but that's not what my feedback to her is about. My feedback to her is you can't have a conversation with her without her being defensive. And the fact that she does whatever she wants, whenever she wants to do it, and then when she's confronted about it, she gets hostile.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has to have another way to be able to communicate with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
I agree. My feeling here is that Manon is not in a partnership. This relationship is not egalitarian. And perhaps Anthony knows that and he's okay with it because they're still together. But this is not the way that you treat somebody that you think is an equal. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't treat her business partner this way.
Yeah, agreed. Fizzy says, I think she saw the bond that Anthony had with their son, got jealous, and wanted to build a bond with their son. When she saw how hard it was, she quit that.
Or, I mean, he did say that she was spending more time with him. They seemed to be like, you know, making their own way ahead. Maybe she found it and was like, this means nothing to me. This does not satisfy me the same way as getting a big deal or having a big sale or seeing my products in stores. Maybe that's what she found. But I will say, when you have a child who prefers their father, people make such a big deal about it. That's how it was when Taylor was younger for me. And like, if the child, when they get upset, they run to the other parent every single time. And people look at you like, are you defunct as a mom? And so I do believe the first part of what you were saying was probably correct. Like, people see the bond that Anthony has with Ben, and she's a little bit jealous of that. But that doesn't mean that you find fulfillment in the same way. But moreover, like, honestly, like, I really do want to defend her because I feel like we get sold a lie about what motherhood is a lot, and people fall into the trap of what they think motherhood is. In fact, Faze said it earlier too. She saw mommy influencers and thought like being a stay-at-home mom might be easy. I think that people are not honest about how difficult motherhood is and how it's not made for everybody. and that people fall into the trap of having children and then realizing they did not want to be mothers.
I agree with that. I just don't think that that's her main issue. I think her main issue is she's selfish. I think that's part of it, where maybe she doesn't really want to be like she even said in this episode she could never be a stay-at-home mom. She said that. Those are the words that came out of her mouth. But I do think that she is forgetting that it's not just about her. You have two other people in your family that you have to think about. And part of Anthony's concern is that he doesn't want to go back to how it was. And how it was breaking up their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And at this rate, I'll tell you, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it because it's not just about the working all the time. It's the selfishness. It's the way she talks down to him and hides things from him. You don't hide things from your partner. That's your husband. That is your spouse. Like, what? If you can't be open and honest in your relationship, what is that saying about your relationship? Then he talked about the tone. And I think someone in the live chat said something as well, but your tone goes a long way. And Anthony said, it's in your tone. Like if you're talking about tone and me telling you about the business and all the things, well, guess what? It goes back to you and your tone. And she was not hearing him. She rolled her eyes, Abby. She rolled her eyes and was like not hearing him. And I just think that there's a lack of respect somewhere there. And that is why anything that comes out of his mouth, she takes it the wrong way.
Yeah.
So he feels like she's going back to her old ways and taking on a lot and working too much. And it's going to be the doom of their relationship, period, full stop.
Yeah. FaZe has got some final thoughts.
Yeah. And, is it Penji the goat said divorce said hi. And FaZe's saying that is why you need to have the conversation about children. Facts. My husband and I are child free by choice. One reason is I know that. Oh, that just totally took over. I can't.
It chopped it.
Yeah,
that's weird, huh? She could not be the mom that she wanted to be.
Yeah. So weird.
And I'm glad for you all who have the wherewithal to consider being child free as even an option. I did not grow up in an environment where you could even consider being child free. Like that is not of God to say such a thing where I grew up. So I'm glad that now women are coming along and even thinking that is an option to consider.
Listen, we've talked about this multiple times. Well, you know us. You have to have that conversation. So, FaZe, thank you for reminding all of us about what we all talk about on a regular basis. Have these conversations before you get in too deep. Let's move on to Madeline and Luke.
Okay.
A couple that I've been having some major issues with. And again, the women specifically. So I'll let you start.
Let's start on a positive note that Guatape is absolutely gorgeous. So it's nice for us to be seeing another part of Colombia. We may or may not agree on whether or not it's good for them to be developing such a gorgeous place instead of leaving it open for people to explore. But that's really nice. So that's a positive note. On a non-positive note, I am still beefing with Luke. Here we have Madeline saying that she's expressed over and over a preference for birth control and that he has run roughshod over her preference and birth control. And that
Abby,
is very serious.
How is that just Luke's fault? How is that just Luke's fault? Explain that to me.
Well, I'm not saying it's just Luke's fault, but I'm beefing with him about it because he is in his 30s. Madeline, again, was 19 when we met her. So I am not expecting someone her age to be able to fight him. No, fight's not the right word. On that issue as much. Is she there? Is she present? Could she walk away? Maybe. But again, she's a kid who grew up on the streets, feeling a lot of pressure from this person about not using birth control.
No, 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 no. We're not. No, not no. I don't agree. I don't agree. And I don't agree because I think it's 2026. And I think that, yeah, she was 19, but she has a lot of street smarts. And what we're not about to do is say in one breath, your body, your choice, and then say that this grown female did not have the choice to not use birth control. No, that is her body. Don't have sex if you don't feel comfortable. You can be caught up in the moment, and I get it, and it's hard and it's difficult, but what we're not about to do is just blame Luke. It takes two to tango. Okay? It takes two to tango, and either of you can walk away from a situation or say no at any point. And if you can't, then that's a whole different conversation. So I don't agree that we're just going to beef with Luke. We're going to beef with Luke and Madeline, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, and that's I'm holding firm on that. And I think that let me know what you guys think in the live chat. Let us know what you think in the replay, and we can definitely have this conversation more in depth. Is it Pinji the goat? I'm happy you're here. But what we're not about to do is talk crazy to one another. Like, we don't do that on my channel here. So glad you came over to say hi, but we don't do that. We don't go crazy and say crazy things, because I would have probably taken you out of the chat. So calm down, take a deep breath, and enjoy the show. So they are meeting with Jose at their property, and this is in the same weekend that they're supposed to get married, right? So it's an interesting time to say, hey, yeah, I want to take a business meeting, but we also have our wedding coming up. So we're just going to do both. Quite interesting. Jaza says, Luke, as a grown-ass man, should be very wary of young women in poor situation. He should come prepared.
I mean, on the one hand, for me, Joslo, it seems like he wanted a young person that he could have as a trophy and manipulate. I mean, if you watch their first season, he was specifically going to Colombia for the purpose of dating, and she wasn't the only young person that he dated. So,
yeah, I'm not saying Luke is a passport bro. I'm not saying he's not that, because he's clearly that. But I also do think that they both went into this relationship for the benefits that they could see out of it. Now, should they be together? Absolutely not. But here we are, right? So Madeline's feeling dizzy. She has no appetite. She feels bad, she says, but she looks good, quote unquote. And they are gonna, and it's La Pidera. Is that the right way to say it?
Oh, I'm not sure.
But anyways, the area is beautiful. There's a whole lake system. It's greenery, blue waters, gorgeous rolling hills. It's gorgeous. And that area is where they're going to be building their boutique resort. But in the meantime, they are driving to go meet with Jose, and she is not feeling well. She, pulls over to the side of the road. She gets sick. Luke does bring her water, and they decide to switch because she was driving. So she lays down on the passenger side. And something that I thought was interesting is that anytime she feels nauseous or sick, she eats lime with salt, and it seems to make her feel better. And I wonder if it's the acidity of the lime. But if you guys know, anyone knows about this little natural remedy, please do let me know. I'm very curious about it. She starts screaming at him. So yeah, I get you're not feeling well, and I get that you and Luke have been having problems for a very long time, but she starts screaming about how unhappy she is with him, and he never is careful about her, and this is about the limes specifically. So she screamed at him to pull over to buy some limes. As he's driving, there's like a gas station. She screams at him to pull over at that specific gas station to get the limes. He buys the limes, but he doesn't like chop up the lime or hand her a lime directly. He puts it in the back seat. And so she's mad about that. Like, you don't look out for me. You know I'm not feeling well, so shouldn't be the first thing you do is go ahead and hand me a lime. And he's like, well, I'm driving now. Can't you just reach over and get it for yourself? And that was an interesting thought, because on the one hand, I feel like, yeah, you absolutely weren't thinking of her. If she is screaming at you to go get a lime, get her a lime and give one to her in her hand so that she can start doing whatever it is that she does. But why just throw them all in the back? Right? Like, pick your battles, friend. Pick your battles. She's worried she's pregnant, and she doesn't think that she's prepared for that. She doesn't think that they're prepared for that. And I'll tell you this, they are not prepared. They shouldn't even be together. So let's not throw a baby in the mix. Thoughts, Abby?
Same. I think that if your partner was sick and you knew that they had this salt lime trick that they did, I think it wouldn't even be a conscious just thought on your part to just go ahead and slice it up and put some salt on it, or put some salt on the side for them to dab it. Like, that's an easy thing to do, right? But moreover, if you woke up in the morning and your partner was sick, would you still force this business meeting?
I mean, those are exactly it. Those are the things.
No. But absolutely, they do not need to have a child. More for her, I just hope that doesn't happen, because she obviously still has some growing up to do, and I wouldn't want her to be hampered with a baby while she's trying to do that, and then also for the child to suffer that dysfunction.
Agreed. Now, I will give him this. When they were still at the house, he said, do you want me to take this meeting alone? She's like, no, I'm the boss here. And so she willingly decided to go, even though she wasn't feeling well. So I will give that little tidbit of information out. They arrive at the property, the land, and they park. Madeline doesn't want to walk. She starts screaming at him about that. And I was like, I don't know how he could help in that situation. I could see how he could have been different with the limes. I could see how he could be different with the business meeting. But now you're here, you decided that you wanted to go, and now you don't want to walk, and you're screaming at him because of it.
Well, he could have not said, come on, Madeline. That would have been helpful. He could, Jose, she's not feeling really well. Can we walk a little slower today? Can you go ahead and show us the plans here? Let's take a break midway through the walk. Show us the plans. Then we'll get up top and talk some more.
But Jose was already at the top. They had to walk.
Tell him from the very beginning. Tell him from the very beginning, hey, we're still coming out here for the meeting, but Madeline's not feeling well, so we're going to be moving a little bit slower. Like you said, set your partner up for failure, or just go ahead and reschedule it to begin with. She wants to go only because she doesn't want you to go alone. But when you say, okay, I'm either his decisions that morning were either you come to the meeting with me sick, or I go to the meeting alone. Why didn't he consider, let's just reschedule it for a time that we both can go?
Yeah, that's a fair observation. It's fair. It's fair.
So then when you get out there, okay, like, we know that there's going to be some walking involved. She's not feeling well. Give Jose a call on the way out there. Madeline's not feeling really well, so we're going to be walking a little slow. Also, I was wondering if we could just take a break in the middle. Come on. These are things, Linda, that you would do if you had a sick partner that wasn't feeling well with you, and you wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I just see that this whole situation, I think the issue is I see they're both in the wrong, and that's the problem. They need to walk away from each other, and they're wrong for different reasons. And yes, we can be beefing with Luke, and I know that you have a soft spot for Madeline, but they're both in the wrong in a lot of these situations, and it's unfortunate. But here we are. So Lot is beautiful, has a great view. They're planning to do a boutique resort. It's going to have a reception area, a restaurant, a social zone, a pool that has a bar that looks down into like the ocean. And they're going to have a separate disco bar. So it sounds lovely. And they got to see the plans. They're both excited about it. But then here is where it just goes even more sour. So Madeline says this was her idea, and she spent a lot of time like scouting the area and talking to the people and all the stuff. And Luke thinks that this is his business because it's his investment and his money. So what he's going to do is there's 2 lots. He's going to put the big lot, which is the hotel, and everything it stands for, in his name solely. And then the second lot, where they're going to build their own home, it will be his name and Madeline's name. That's it. Because he want to protect what, quote, this is his words, he's protecting what's his. Doesn't want to get married, tomorrow. And then she divorces him the next day, because they are literally getting married in a day or so. Are you thinking about your long-term love, or are you actually just thinking about yourself?
He's thinking about himself.
He's thinking about himself and all of his failed investments. And at this point, not current day, but at this point while they were filming, she still had, the little salon, and it was successful because of her. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what he's thinking. Because like, if I'm going to go by your past successes, could you give me one? Because
this is very reminiscent of men who will have like a successful law practice or a successful like internal medicine office. And when they get divorced, they don't want to split any of those proceeds with their soon-to-be ex-spouse. But the ex-spouse is the one who organized all of the filing and answered all the phone calls and did all of the hiring and HR and the payroll. And they don't see that as a equal contribution because it's not financial.
Yep. And listen, you can't bring sugar daddy passport bro vibes and not be the sugar daddy, but yet be the passport bro. So you wanted a young, beautiful individual, and it didn't matter who it was, slide in beautiful young Colombian girl. You got her. She wanted stability and financial security through you and your investments in her and anything else that's going to be invested in. So, bring what you said you were going to bring to the table. She's still young, she's still beautiful, and she's still willing to marry you in this episode, at least. And so she's bringing what she said she was going to bring to the table. So I don't understand why all of a sudden you're protecting what's yours.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he still hasn't told her, you guys, to date, she still doesn't know his financial failures.
Right. So, just because you think that this is going to be the one that hits Luke, I mean, come on now. Come on. So they are fighting. They get back to the car. She's crying. She's screaming at him. And in Spanish, she basically tells him to shut up and that this conversation is over. And, they still pull up to Bliss, which is the wedding hotel. And that was me, Abby. I just started laughing. I was like, nothing about this makes any sense. You guys don't even like each other. Why are we still thinking about marriage? But
yeah.
They get to the hotel room, and she basically says to him, I'm scared about everything. I guess she had a pregnancy scare 2 months ago where she was like eating ice cream all the time. She said she had no energy. Her emotions were weird, and she thinks she's pregnant. And so she brought in a test, and that's where they leave us. Let me tell you, they do not need to bring a baby at all. Like, not at all. Not at all. These two just both need to not be together. And, no spoilers, but these are signs.
Why don't I would like for the men, if we have any men out there, if you're anti wearing a condom, just why don't you just get a vasectomy? You can still have kids later on.
Are we back on this conversation,
Yes,
Abby?
I want all men to start with a vasectomy and then like work your way out of it to have kids affirmatively.
I can't even. I can't.
And but it'd be so much easier that way, wouldn't it? Okay. Moving on. I've talked about this enough.
I cannot. I can't. I'm not on board with that comment, but I can't talk about it right now because we have to move on. If you guys want to talk to Abby about it in the replay, please do. I will keep up with that conversation, but I do still think it takes two to tango. Jenny.
Oh, Jen. Every day we find out more and more things that you can't do.
I'm just wondering, like, what happened? Because this is not the Jenny of the yesteryears, and I don't want to say it's because she's older. I just think that she's like kind of given up.
I'm thinking, like, is there a time that we've ever seen her write? Because I was like, maybe she's. Sometimes people who are illiterate are very good at hiding it.
Oh, that didn't even cross my mind.
That's what I was thinking. Because Linda, I told Linda this before, but you guys, I dated someone who was illiterate and I didn't realize it. But when I realized that he was illiterate, you know what I thought about? Every single time we would go to a restaurant, he would ask the server, what's your most popular meal? Or what do people normally get here? And that's how he was avoiding reading the menu. They have like really good ways of not cluing you into the fact that they're illiterate. So I'm like, is she?
I mean, because this coffee scene, you guys, this took me out. It took me all the way out because I was like, am I siding with Sumit right now? Because he's making logical sense.
I was siding with everybody but Jenny, Sumit, the dad, the customer.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, y'all, this was wild. So Jenny can't seem to handle the coffee job, and she's a barista, you know, and from the jump, she didn't want to learn the job. She had Sumit's sister-in-law teaching her how to use the machine, but she spent no time learning up the machine. She spent no time, like, I don't know, watch a YouTube video. I don't know, like, do stuff. Go to a coffee shop and see how they make it. There's so many things she could do, but no. And so customer comes, wants a coffee. She's like, oh, you know, what do you want? Do you want a cappuccino? He says, sure. Sumit came with the upsell with the Reita and aloe puree, which was food. He's like, hey, we sell food. Do you want some? The guy was open to it. So, you know, when you get that upsell, keep going, right? So she makes the cappuccino. And the thing with Jenny is that she'll make the coffee and then after be like, nothing. And the customer says, how much do I owe you? She's not like, hey, this will be 20 rupee. This will be 60 rupee. Do you want a cappuccino? What size do you want? Small or large? She says. She doesn't even say that. Say it small is 30 rupee, a large is 90 rupee, and then they can make an informed decision. Then, while you hand over the coffee, okay, that will be 90 rupee, please. No, she just gives them the coffee. And then looking at her like, okay, how much do I owe you? And the first customer is like, how can I pay? Can I pay with the UPI? She's like, I don't know. I don't know anything about the payment system. Let me get, you know, my father-in-law.
Oh, God.
So she leaves. That guy could have taken off if he wasn't an honest person, but he waits. Sumit comes. He does the UPI. She doesn't even know. She's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't have that on my phone yet. Okay, so I get it. Some people are not tech savvy. Totally get it. Fine, Jenny. But we find out that Sumit is doing the tech payments and the dad is doing the cash payments. And Jenny, okay then, cool, Jenny. All you have to do is make the coffee. But why are we having a problem with just making the coffee, Jenny? I don't get it. So a couple of things. They have no register. Dad's handling cash payments. Sumit's app is doing the app payments. They definitely need more equipment. They should have thought about that, I feel, before they open, because let this run smoothly. And you guys, I won't get on a TED Talk about how the mom is cooking food and the mom doesn't have a hairnet, but Sumit, who's not cooking food, he has a hairnet. I need that to make some type of sense. And then it's the dad. He needs the dad back in the kitchen, but the dad is handling the cash with no gloves. So are you cooking and the dirty money in your hand? I said I wasn't going to do a TED Talk, but those are the major issues that, you guys don't get distracted. So then I pause and I'm thinking about it. But those are just the top things that I noticed. There is a litany of things that
I thought about it too. And then I just said to myself, people who live in different places have different stomach bacteria. They're made to handle the place where they live.
No. No, not as a traveler. No, as a frequent traveler, Abby, such as yourself, I don't want that for you either. No, just absolutely not. We're talking about the same guy that got the water that they were boiling the food in from the toilet water. So no, you could have an ironclad stomach. I still don't want you to have to eat food that was made in toilet water, nor do I want you to have your hands all over dirty money and then your hands in the food that they're about to serve you. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anyone.
I don't want that for anyone either. Jessica Vanessa, hey, she has a good question. I don't remember.
What did Jenny even do in her life before Sumit? She doesn't clean or make food, and I'm wondering if she's good at anything.
And she has at least one daughter that we were introduced to. I don't know if she has any other children, but she has at least
two daughters.
Two daughters.
Mm-hmm.
So she raised some kids. I mean, I would assume she had to do a little bit of homework with them at some point and cook a meal here and there. But it's very confusing because she wasn't even saying like, oh, I miscounted. She just gave the girl back all the money. She gave her all the change. She didn't even try.
It's very odd, but you guys, she never was like this before. At least I didn't notice. I guess she was too busy fighting to get married and to be with Sumit that all this other basic day-to-day stuff just never surfaced. I don't know, but this was hard to watch, you guys. So two young girls come up for coffees. We find out somehow, some way, it's 60 rupee for a small and 90 rupee for a large coffee. And again, Jenny just gives them the coffee and they have to ask her, well, how much do we owe? So they owed 60 rupee. Okay. They give her like a 500 rupee. She gives the 500 to the dad to make change. We were all clear. I was even clear. She said, I need change for this. So if I give Abby $100 bill and I want change, Abby has to give me $100 back. And then whatever I'm going to do with that $100 with the new change I have in my hand, that's what I'm going to do. Which is what Sumit kept saying. It's basic math. Jenny kept saying, I don't understand rupees. I don't want to handle the money. I don't know math. And he kept saying it's simple math. It's basic math. It could be in dollars. It can be in rupees. It could be in pennies. It could be in whatever currency. It doesn't matter if you can do basic math. He says, if something costs 60 rupee, okay, and someone gives you 100 rupee, okay, what do? Well, if you have 100 and it costs 60, 100 minus 60, you're going to give them 40 baht. It's very basic. All you have to do is 0 to 10. If you can count from 0 to 10, easy. 10, 0, 0, that's 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take away 6. You can even use your that's 4. Add back the 0, that's 40. It's very, very basic. She got super crazy. And here's why I think Abby may be on to something, because she's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I don't understand change. What? And then she said, and I'm not going to be standing here getting embarrassed. So,
oh my gosh, I just remembered something. I remembered. Remember when Sumit tried to get her to go to the market by herself?
No.
And she was very against it. I won't be able to say when it happened, but he was asking her to like go to the market and get some vegetables. And she was very, very against going to the market. Maybe it wasn't an issue of I don't want to go out by myself, like she kept on saying, but an issue of she can't do numbers or is completely illiterate.
You know, I mean, now that you put it out there, and the fact that she's like, I don't want to be embarrassed in front of all these people, it's something.
As if a calculator is not available.
Right.
Or that you could have like a little cheat sheet. Like when I used to sell Girl Scouts really young, they have a little cheat sheet. This is 1 box of cookies. This is 2 box of cookies. If somebody gives you a 20, this is the change. Like, you know, and then eventually you memorize it.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I did not know that this was a thing that was like regional for me. So when I left home, I said this to someone and they had no idea what I was talking about. If I give you $1 and I want all quarters back, I don't want dimes, I don't want nickels, I want full quarters back. Do you have a word for how you would say that?
No, I'm giving you
I wanted to use the laundry and I asked someone, I gave him $1 and I asked, can I have case quarters? And they were like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
That's how you say that you want a whole quarter. Like, I want you to give me 4 quarters back. I don't want you to give me dimes or nickels. I was like, can I have case quarters? And they were like, what are you talking about?
But what is that? What does it stem from? What is case about?
I have absolutely no idea where it came from, but I grew up saying that, like, you know, back in the day when we used real money a lot more than using electronic stuff. If you wanted to use like a gumball machine or something that took quarters, so you give your money to the shopkeeper, and so they wouldn't give you dimes or nickels back. You say, can I have case quarters?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you guys know the meaning of that, I'm sure I could probably look it up, Google it. But if you know someone in the live chat right now knows what it means, please feel free, because don't they come in rolls?
No, not just if I'm getting 4 of them.
I know, but where's the case quarter? No, I'm not going down the rabbit hole.
I'm Southern, Jess. I just nicknamed you Jess. I'm from Georgia. So when I came up here to school to Maryland, and I still taught like this, I was like, can I get 4 case quarters, please? They're like, young woman, what are you talking about?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Has anyone heard of case quarters before? Let us know. Let us know. Yeah, Jenny can't hold the job. And I just think that Jenny is making an excuse not to have to work, because that's what she's putting out there, is she doesn't want to do anything. And if you guys recall, earlier this season, she just wanted to stay in the bed and drink coffee and chill out. She didn't want to work out. She, like Abby just said, she didn't want to go to the market. She just wants to chill, which I get. The woman is 67. She's trying to live her twilight years just chilling. She don't want to cook. She can't clean. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Jessica said, I looked it up. It's a Southern thing. I'm in California. I've never heard that before. LOL. Yeah, I've never heard about it either, Jessica. Abby has taught us both something new. And I will go outside one day and say, can I get, what is it?
Case quarter.
Not a case of quarters. It's just case quarters.
Yeah, just a case, not like a group. Can I get case quarters, please? And
as you guys know, with me and sayings, I already see how my brain already processes that. I will go out and say, can I get a case of quarters? And they're going to be like, what are you talking about? And I'm going to say, it's from the South. And they're going to tell me, no, it's case quarters. And that is how I live my life. Simple math, people. Simple math. Last and certainly not least, what were your thoughts on Greta and Matthew?
I did not like this at all. I did not like this at all. I don't like that life is hard. And the beginning of a relationship should not be hard. You shouldn't be just, oh, things are just difficult. You have to struggle through them. I don't believe that. I also don't like the idea of somebody broke up with you and you want to send your parent to go and speak to them because you know that that person is respectful and they won't decline the conversation. I did not like any part of this, Matthew.
I agree with that. I also didn't, I was feeling sad because Greta, stand firm in your convictions. You know what? I know that we all get lonely and it's scary when you're not in your, hometown or somewhere where you're familiar with. You don't have a support system, all the things. But girl, stand firm in your convictions because you know what you did and said was brave, and you were doing it for yourself and you were doing it for your future and your future self. And so when you sat in the bed all alone and saying you feel alone, all those feelings are valid. And here's what I think that we do as women a lot too, and even in breakups in general. When we break up, in the immediate pain and loneliness and feeling a little bit scared, especially it's been a long time and you haven't been single for a while, you start romanticizing the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And forgetting about yesterday, all the things that were pissing you off, because, as women, we don't break up just like this. It takes us a minute. When the actual action has happened, we've broken up a long time ago. Just like how she had separated herself 6 months ago, started like pulling away. That was the beginning of the breakup in her mind. When she was ready to actually do it, that was 6 months later. We females, we work like that. We also will now then sit and like, here we are in the bed. She's in the bed and she's romanticizing Matthew, saying Matthew always supported and encouraged her and was always there for her. Does Abby need to go back 3 episodes ago where you were talking about how he wasn't there for you during the hardest parts of you coming up in your career, law school, studying for the bar? I mean, you can go replay our show. Abby broke it down as an attorney that she is and all the support you need while you're going through a hardest time and having to study, 20 hours, no, like 12 hours a day, 18 hours a day, every day for months in. I just, what, Greta? Are you forgetting that? The whole
She is. And you called it correctly. She's just forgetting it. She's just romanticizing. She's going back to what she hoped it would be instead of what it really was.
Right, but I don't want her to get sucked in this vulnerable state, because now Matthew is going to use his dad, who she respects, who's, his own business person. He's going to use the dad to get to her while she's at her most vulnerable. And then she's by herself. So then she's going to think this elder is looking out for her. But is he really? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that she continues to say that it hurts her, that she hurt him, she, quote, left a good guy to do this crazy thing. Girl.
Yeah. And she doesn't have her own parents to rely on. She's doing this out of her own volition. She doesn't have a family group that is sustaining her. She has come so far in life, basically on her own.
Which is why this is so impressive, which is why I continue to give her kudos, because people who have all those things, some people can't even make these hard decisions. She's doing this on her own. And I want her to know that you did not leave a good guy to do a crazy thing. You left a good guy because you wanted to do something for you.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to be the best version of yourself, for yourself, by yourself, and that is
Right.
okay. That is
Exactly.
okay.
It is. You were paying attention to the signs. Here's what happens a lot of times. We listen to what people say as opposed to what they do. So what he said was, if you feel that being a mom is too much pressure, then I'll be 2 times the dad, right? That's what he said. But what did he do? When it was time for you to arrive and have a place to put your belongings, he cleared out nothing and said, oh, you can do it yourself, right? So what do we pay attention to? The flowery words that he said of what kind of father he would be, or what he has already shown you? You paid attention to what he showed you. You did the right thing. And there's so many people out there who are saying you left a good guy for no reason because they're over here in the words.
Follow your gut, Greta. Your gut is telling you it's come this far. Look at how much you've accomplished and achieved on your own. I just want you to know, just keep going. You know, yes, you miss him, and yes, it's freaking you out, but you did it for a reason. I don't think that you are doing anything haphazard. You are putting your thought and your energy into things, and you're making the tough decisions. And I dare say that you are more in tune with a lot of your feelings because you had to growing up, you know? And so kudos to you for that. And don't let anyone make you do something that you really don't want to do just because it seems like the world is telling you it's not right for you and you left a good guy. But, you know, here we are. Matthew couldn't sleep. He literally says that Greta ended the relationship without any warning. He too is sad and lonely. um, I think that that's how breakups work. You don't give 2 weeks notice. You just break up. And so I don't know what other warnings you needed. I can tell you what you could have done, like Abby said, to make her feel more welcome. And perhaps this breakup might have come in a week or two instead of when it did come. Because you know what? She had space. She didn't have to fight about wanting to go to the spa every week like she normally does for herself. Although you said that you would pay all the bills. She wouldn't have to pacify you when you're feeling down. Who's helping and pacify her when she's feeling down? I mean, there are a lot of things, you guys, that are low key red flags. So yes, someone wraps up in a, you can, what is the saying? You know, you can wrap, I don't know if this is a saying or if I'm making it up. Abby's looking at me like, oh, here she goes. But you can wrap poop up in a bow. It's
Yeah.
still poop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, yes, it's shiny and it seems nice, talks nice, has that wonderful accent, but is it all that? Or is it all smoke and mirrors? I don't know. But Mark goes to talk to his dad and tells the dad that he had no idea this was coming. You know, the dad doesn't know what to say. The dad and his mom are allegedly both just as shocked. But Matthew goes into how painful this is for him. He wants to reach out to her, but she wants space. So instead, he's going to manipulate the situation, right? So this reminds me of before the 90 day and Laura's parents, where they're verbally saying something, but then they manipulate the situation. Oh, you know, we're really there for you, but then they spew venom. Same type of situation. So you're saying I'm respecting Greta's boundary, and her boundary right now is that she wants space. But you're not really respecting it because now you're sending your dad over to go talk to her. How are you? What? You're just sending your representative instead of yourself. The dad does say that some things are worth fighting for. And The thing is, I'll do that if you think that she'll be receptive to it and if that's something that you really want me to do, but you might be disappointed in the answer. You might not want to hear what she really has to say. Then, and I've said this about Matthew before, and I'm going to say it again, the way now that they're broken up, the way he talks about Greta, I don't like. And you guys, I really need you to pay attention to that, because if you loved this person yesterday and you're talking crazy about them today, it says a lot about who you are and what you truly believe about that person. So words are powerful, but actions are even more powerful. So when he is now saying that Greta's idea of love is constant exhilaration and that type of love doesn't exist, well, what you're not about to do is downplay the fact that she said that she doesn't love you anymore. And she didn't say that she needs constant exhilaration. She just said she doesn't love you anymore.
Right. She never said that.
She never said that. So if you are equating what love looks like for you and love looks like constant exhilaration and you don't represent that, then say that.
Right.
But don't put this on her, because she never represented herself like that and she never said that.
He's unable to be introspective at all. Like, he tried to blame it on the cameras. He tried to blame it on her. He's trying to blame it. Like, at no point has he said, what could I have done differently since Greta arrived? At no point has he made that consideration, at least where we can see, Mm-hmm. So his inability to be introspective about this also means that she made the right decision. Not only his behavior beforehand, and the way that he's talking about her, but also this other behavior, because anytime someone lacks the ability to find peace in themselves and acknowledge who they are, then they are not going to be able to find peace with you.
Agreed. 100% agreed. The dad is disappointed, allegedly, and upset with Greta. He does want them to work out. So he's going to go and talk to her. And, that's where they leave it with us. I just don't think that's a good idea. And I want her to be able to have a little bit more alone time. And you guys, if any of you guys are going through a breakup or been through a recent breakup, it's natural to feel hurt. It's natural to feel alone and all of those things, but don't succumb to your emotions in the moment.
Yeah.
Take a beat and take a breath.
I would also say, like, as a parent, I don't think this is any of your business. I'm always looking at these people like, what would I do as a parent in this situation? And in this situation, I'm going to comfort my child, help them process if they want to talk it out. And that's it. It is not your job to go to that other partner and try to mend fences or meddle in that relationship. If you see them at some point in the future, tell them good luck. And I hope that you have a brilliant future. That's it. Get your nose out of their business.
Yeah, Molly. Let forest be forest. Totally different show, but same franchise, you guys. Woo! Yeah, do you want to add anything else to this one, you guys? Anyone in the live chat? Abby, you got anything else to add? Because that's basically all that happened this episode.
Yeah, that's all my notes. So another good episode, good characters. Mm-hmm. They bring out good conversations about what is partnership, what is parenting, what does communication really mean? Even when people are talking to each other, like, where is the breakdown in the communication? So I think all these things are good to talk about. Yes. It might seem like a little silly reality TV show, but I do think these are good themes to discuss.
100%. And that's why we discuss them right here, TMW Online. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys, we'll see you on Friday. Listen, I watched that episode, what do you guys say? On accident, by accident. But it was so, you guys, I am loving Before the 90 Days this season. I'm loving everything about it. It's so good. It's so good. And will I have a TED Talk on Friday? I absolutely will. So come prepared for that, because I am going to be going off on a tangent. Molly, just know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. Till then, you guys, happy Monday, and we'll see you on Friday.
TTFN.
And end.